Okay, good morning once again for this opportunity that you've have to attend this class. Today, in our class for digital forensic, I want us to focus on what we call the email investigation or email forensic. That one we are talking about extracting data got from the email. So we are saying that digital evidence in the form of email data can be crucial in both civil and criminal cases. What I'm saying short that most of the time you'll get opportunity or you'll be required to appear in court as a digital forensic or forensic scientist to come and explain part of the email. And that's why we are saying that you should be sure to know how to extract email in the correct manner using what we call the email forensic. And not only for you to extract this email in the correct manner, as you join this class, you are going to find it also very easy for you to understand how email work and also how to identify email that has got hidden information or the email that is meant to extract or to steal information from you. So we say with the prominence of the internet, email have emerged as the most popular application for business communication, where we have the document transferred and transaction from the computer and mobile using email. Right now, in your mobile phone, right now, you cannot do anything if you are not log in or you are not registered to a particular email address. And that's why for you to upload app in your phone, you must have an email which is a Gmail in your phone. And that's just trying to show us how important email is in our life. And with that email being important and part of us, the hackers also take advantage and use that email either to confuse you by sending information that is used to extract information of personal information or detail that they can use to con you and all that. With this emergence of the email security protocol also, we have also to think about ways of implementing and mitigating the illegitimate action of this criminal element, as I've said. Like in business, email which has been compromised through what you call the pushing email or the ransom email can cause organization or a company a lot of time, also can also cost in terms of monetary. So we say that that's also mean that they now come a time that all of us has to think of the specific way to identify when our email is compromised. And this not only identify, we also need now as forensic expert to also understand how can you examine those particular email and how data can be extracted for the legal matter, like if you are to present something in the court of law, and also which can be either civil case or criminal related case. For example, you can have a case where we have what called child pornography. In child pornography, most cases, the suspect is taken to court, and you find that what they always do, they send you maybe nude picture through the email. It can be even email also send not only child pornography, also maybe you somebody was threatening the boss. So akamtumia picha yake that was captured when he was in a compromised situation, or somebody recorded you when you are bathing, or somebody recorded you when you are maybe in a state that you not want to be seen in the public. Let's say maybe it was in a toilet, somebody put a hidden camera, and through that now he send it to email to extort you for money. Say that this is the picture I have of you, give us money or give me money or I post it in social media and all that. If you can trace the source of that email, it will be very important for you to know how to deal with that. It can be something that somebody is planning to make sure that it damage your image, and that's why the email forensic is going to be applicable in such cases. So Having said that, what is email forensic? I know you are taking notes, and we can say that email forensic is exactly what it sounds. It's just email forensic. And just to go a little bit to put more word to it so that we understand, he said that is the analysis of the email and contents with no within a determined legitimate, is the analysis of email and the content within to determine the legitimacy, comma, source, comma, date, comma, time, comma, the accurate sender and the recipient in the forensic sound manner. What I'm saying that when we are doing email forensic, there's a number of areas that we'll be looking at. First, we'll be determining if that particular email is it legitimate. Is the email that come from the source it claimed to come from? For example, I did explain in one of our class that sometimes somebody can send you an email that claiming that that email is coming from maybe your bank, yet it's not come to the bank because the header of that email, and we're going to learn about header, is hidden. So you see that as if it's coming from the bank, but it's coming from a particular Gmail. And we are going to look at this in our practical, how somebody can hide the source of the email. So we'll be looking at if the source is correct. We'll also be looking at the date. The date is claimed that to be sent. For example, somebody said that I resigned 1 month ago and I sent the email. So we can determine if that email is just sent today, was sent by that time. Time, it was sent at night or daytime. The actual sender, the one who claimed to have sent it, and the person that was meant to receive it. So that all we are going to be learning, and the aim of this is to provide us with what we call the admissible digital evidence for use in civil code. Because some of you who are in IT, you'll be required to prove the email in your server, because I know some of you will go ahead and do also networking, and also you can also be the people are doing cyber security. You'll be looking at this. These are key points that you should look at. You look at the sender, this email that is bringing virus into the system, this email that is used to hack the system, who is the sender? So you'll be interested to understand it, that from the email header. And that's why you say the most important part of use of this email forensic will be to prepare something that can be admissible in the court of law. And having said that, what is admissible evidence? Let's look at admissible evidence. We say that most organizations have specific internal and external email policy in place to help them safeguard their data, intellectual property, finances, and reputation. We are saying that why are we interested in looking at email and email admissible? Because most of the time you will get a job in an organization, or you are working in an organization which are corporate. As IT person, as a security expert, let's say you are a cyber security based class, or as also CCTV expert, there will be some data to be safeguarded. There will be some intellectual property that is under your department, or information regarding the finances. Like if you are running the IT support, you have to make sure the finance department are protected. Reputation, those who are running the CCTV, the images there, if they go to the public, some of them might have advanced damage on the reputation of the organization or individual within organization. And also the person that is looking at this email header to prove a case, or through the method of penetration in the system. So you'll be interested on this, and thus we say that this does not always stop individual or employee, for example, from violating this policy to determine their employer. So this policy will be broken, and you will be required to prove that an employee or somebody working there, internal or external, or maybe intruder visitors, have violated some laws, and this violation can present themselves in form of forbidden file that has been transferred from the organization, or from somewhere to organization, data breach because data has got also security related to it, or we are talking about indecent images. I talked about child pornography, or in criminal email threat. There's some email somebody can send you a threat from the email. So you'll be dealing with either of these or all of these during the course of, or maybe your career. And we say that should a company suspect the foreplay or application of email forensic is to the suspect email account, can provide what we call the admissible evidence for disciplinary or for legal process. So that's why you will be needed as a forensic expert to prove that the suspect had a foul play or attempted to do some criminal element. So either for internal disciplinary action or for legal process that will go to court. And that's why we talk about admissibility evidence, meaning evidence that when taken to court can be accepted and admitted to be used in the court of law. Having said that, can we as ourselves, can a solicitor, which is maybe the legal person or IT manager, just extract an email? There must be a boundary. We said that they certainly can and may think that downloading maybe a personal file or the PS file, which is a file containing will glean to all the information they require. But now, apart from that, there's some hidden information, and that's why we are looking at email extraction. We are looking at the email investigation or email forensic, because there's some information that cannot just be forwarded by somebody. And even you, before you go into this class, you'll understand there's some part of it that you cannot do yourself. So, however, as a technical survey or as a technical expert, they may be in need of your service. And that's why forensic expert has the correct qualification, and that's what I'm giving you. You have got a credential, you'll be given a credential, and also you'll be given the technology knowledge to able to identify or to prepare that evidence, secure it, and also make it to be available through a cost-effective manner to ensure that what goes in the court is admissible. So we say these people, they can pose as experts that allow them to identify the hidden and manipulation of email metadata. Remember, we talk about metadata when you talk about file system, and we say that now you can able to identify the hidden or manipulated email metadata, fill, recover the deleted file, and also they acknowledge the method uh, individual use in attempt to cover up the digital track. For example, you realize sometimes you can use the computer to delete the history. Also, you can delete also the email after sending it, and through the email investigation, we'll able to get all that. For someone other than the expert to extract the data in a incorrect manner could also jeopardize the integrity of that data. So you cannot just go to court and say that as an email reader you must be expert, and that's why when you train you this, and this unit will go to appear in transcript, so you can go, I train this, I train as a data forensic expert, and I was able to identify if this email that has been altered or deleted, and through that now there will be opportunity for you to defend that, also the email to be admissible in the court of law. So the email expert which we are talking about should be the person that is able to extract digital forensic email using the professional training that he has got, and this is highly recommended for you, and mostly those who are doing cyber security. You cannot ignore this at all. Having said that, and giving you the background on the email investigation, I know now we are at the part, we understand what we need this, and as I said, this is also one area that we'll also do our practical. So let's look at the email forensic investigation technique. I want us to look at email forensic investigation technique as a subtopic. And they say that due to rapid spread of the internet use all over the world, the internet use. Even right now, you're watching this by email, by internet. Email has also become primary communication media for many official activity. All of us use email, and if you are not using email, I don't know which one you are. And we say not all company, but also remember the public tend to use email in their critical business activity, such as banking. Use email in your phone to do the banking, sharing the official messages, sharing the confidential file. So we are saying there's various area where email can be used. First, I say you can use it in your banking activity, sharing official messages and sharing even confidential file. However, the communication media has also become vulnerable to attack. As much as we are using the email, now the email, which is the communication media, have now become the source of attacker to ensure that they steal what is meant for them from us. And that's why our focus into this particular unit will on the what you call the email architect and existing investigation technique that you can use as an investigator to investigate email. So let us look the email architect, and we say when the user send an email to recipient, the person receiving the email does not travel directly to that recipient email server. Instead, it passes through the several server. For example, when you have the email that you send from you, it go to another server until the time that this person is able to get the email. So the email program used to compose and read the email messages at the client end is different. So this means that multiple email server available, such as you can use email which is Outlook Express, Gmail, Lotus, etc. And we say that now these servers receive messages from various mail server. And once the email server receives the message, it do what you call decoding the header information to determine where the message is going. Because when you are sending somebody email, you indicate the email is going to maybe freddula@yahoo.com or dulafred@gmail.com. So either go to Yahoo server or Gmail server. So the email server has to determine where does this email send, which server should we send it, and this message you found in the header of that particular email. And we are going to look at this in our practical, how to identify the email header and how it can help us in preparing a case. And we said that with the receiving message, it does not decode the sender to the receiver direct, and he has to look at the recipient, and that one will be explained. So the email identification and data. Let's look at the email identities and data, emails identity and data. And we say that the primary evidence in email investigation is the email reader. When you are doing investigation over email, the place that you'll always talk about, the place you are going to be visiting is the email header. So the word email header is very important for you to understand in this class. And we say the email header contain a considerable amount of information about that email. The goodness or the importance of email reader is that because it contains considering information about that particular email, as what we are going to see in our demonstration. And we say the email header analysis should start from the bottom to the top, because the bottom most information in the email is the information on the person who sent the email, and on the top information is about the receiver. So we're looking at who sent the email and also the receiver. Most cases receiver you are receiving, so we want to see who sent the email and who was meant to receive. So having that, I'm going to explain, like for example, in a particular email, which I also going to give you example. You from the header you can know the email of the receiver, you can know the time it was sent, you can know detail about the server, the date it was sent, and also in case you reply that email, which email will it go to. You know, sometimes somebody can trick you that when you send this email it will go to the bank, not knowing that it will go to a particular maybe a set Gmail account. So we'll understand the receiver, the server or the receiver, and all details that we'll be able to look at. So for example, I'm saying that you'll get fill on from to. You can also understand we are going to look at the CC, BBC, subject, date, reply to, message ID, and what they mean, and I'll give that. And you said that email forensic investigation technique, um, uh, uh, which we are going to look at. The email professional refer to analysis of the source and the content of the email evidence, and we said that investigation of the email uh, related to the crime and incident involve various approach. So what I'm saying, when you look at email forensic investigation technique, uh, we have said that email forensic refer to the analysis or analyzing the source and the content of the email as evident. Email forensic refer to analyzing the source and the content of the email as evidence, and the investigation of email related to crime and incident involve various approach. When we talk about email forensic technique, we are talking about how to analyze the source and the contents of the email as evidence. So you mark that. So when you look at this, let's look at the technique called EIDA analysis. Email EIDA analysis, we say that is the primary analytical technique, is one of the primary way of analyzing email, and this involves analyzing what we call the metadata in the email header. It involves what refer to metadata in the email reader. It also evidence that analyze the header. It's the evidence that the analyzing header helping to identify majority of the email related to I'm saying, I'm just referring to this. Just a minute, just hold there. Okay, sorry for that. You said that the first technique I'm talking about, I'll repeat that because of that interruption. Said that is what we call the header analysis, and you said that email header analysis. We said that is the primary analytical technique. Is the primary analytical technique, meaning that is the primary way of analyzing email. So this involves a way where you analyze what you call metadata in the email reader. It's also evident that analyzing the header that help to identify the majority of the email related crime. So most of the time when you're investigating the email, you will not avoid analyzing the header of that email. For example, the email is spoofing, and I'm going to explain that in some coming class. Email phishing, spam, scam, and even internal data leakage can be identified by analyzing the email. For example, somebody can leak information by sending, let's say, for example, you're working in NEC, National Examination Council, and a paper has been leaked, sent through the email, and we are going to give various examples of that. You can identify if that information already was sent to a particular email address. Apart from that, we have the second technique called server investigation. When you talk about server investigation, this involves the investigating copies of deliver email and server login. This is involved copy of investigating is involved the investigating copy of deliver email and server. We look at the email data and be delivered in a particular server, and we look at what we call the log in, and this also I'm going to explain in our practical. In some organization, they do not provide separate email boxes for their employee by having internal made server. So we say some organization, they give every individual his email address. For example, you can have info meant for somebody who is dealing with maybe the customer care. We can have maybe Sheila, maybe the Sheila is working in that particular organization. You can have even one for maybe Derek, Peter, like that, Bruce, and all that. So each and every one is given particular email. In this case, now the investigation might be involved extracting the entire email box, because all those email will be put in a folder or a box, so that now they look at the log file of those particular emails. So in that type of technique, we call it server investigation. Apart from that, we can have the third technique called network device investigation. Network device investigation. And you say that in some investigation, the investigator might require what you call the log maintained by the network devices, such as router. Uh, Router, as we said before during our ICT class, is what helps us to route the communication in and out. And through maybe the information that are maintained in things like router, firewall, and switches can help us. When I talk about switches, I'm talking about intelligent switches, can help us to get the detail that can explain the source of a particular email. And this is often a complex situation where the primary evidence is not percent, but now it involves maybe analyzing those particular devices. So if for your information, you just know this technique, and briefly maybe we'll look at that in our demonstration. Then we talk about the another type, the fourth one, what we call software embedded analysis. Software embedded analysis, and it says some information about the sender of the email, attached file or document may be included with the email. Sorry for that, by the email software used by the sender for composing the email. So we are saying that when we are using this method called software embedded analysis, we are saying that information about the sender of the email, attached file or document may be also included when you look at the software that had been used by the sender to compose or to prepare that email. We say that this information may be included in the form of customer header or in form of what you call MIME context, and we are going to look at that, or what you call the transport neutral encapsulation format, and I'm going to explain that. So yeah, I want you just to note that there's a method called software embedded analysis, where we are looking at software that have been used to composing to make email, to give opportunity where you can write the email, and we are going to look at that. Another technique I want to talk about is what you call sender mail fingerprint. Sender mail fingerprint. When you talk about, we are looking at the receiver field that include the tracking information generated by the mail server that has previously handled the message in reverse order. So for example, I'm going to look at something called Xmailer, or the user agent field that help to identify the email software we use, where somebody use Outlook, Gmail, and all that. Analyzing this field will help us to understand the software and also the version used by the sender, because now if you are investigating and you can know this person used the server that was meant for the company, or it used a mail that was in a public domain like a Gmail and all that. So we are going to look at what we call extender and user agent, and we are going to explain this in during our practical. Apart from that, we have also a technique called user of the email tracker. User of the email tracker. So in some situation, attacker use different technique and location to generate email. In such situation, it is important for you to find out the geographical location of attacker. For example, you want to know if email was sent in Kenya, was sent in USA, or was sent in some other part. So to get the exact location of the attacker, now the investigator often use the email tracking software embedded into the body of the email. So when the recipient open that particular email, that has email tracker attached, the investigator will be able to notify with the IP address and geographical location of recipient. You remember, in one of our networking class, we talk about the address, the location. IP address also can show the location where this email was sent. And this technique is often used when we identify the suspect in cases like when there's a murder or kidnap cases, or where the criminal communicate via email. He might be asking for some money, ransom, and all that. So we can use the email tracker to know where that this person is sending email from, and that's very important for investigation. Those who are doing cyber security, you need to note this, because this is a method you will be applying most of the time when you are doing your work. Apart from that, we have what we call volatile memory analysis, and memory come in, and we say that we can have even some information saved in the RAM. And we say that recent research now has concluded that analyzing the spoofed email from the volatile memory can help us to analyze detail about the email. And since everything passes through what you call the volatile memory, it's possible to extract the email related evidence, that is the either information from that particular memory. So just know that in this case, we are now investigating or analyzing the memory that is in that particular server where the email was sent. Apart from that, we can look at what we call lastly attachment analysis, and we say most virus and malware sent through email attachment. Most of the time when you are attacked by the virus, you find that it's an email that was sent to you and that attachment. When you open that attachment, the virus spread into your computer or your devices, and through that your phone or your laptop or computer is compromised through the attachment that was sent. So we say investigating attachment is crucial in any email related investigation. So we say the confidential information leak, for example, we are looking at in many important field of investigation, and there are software tool which is available to recover email related data, such as attachment from the computer hard disk, and also for analysis of suspicious attachment. Investigation can also upload a document into the online sandbox, such as VirusTotal, to check whether the field is malware or not. And I'm going to demonstrate also that, so that we can also test if attachment is malware or not. I'm going to show you how to do that. However, it is also important to bear in mind that even if the file passes through such a test like VirusTotal, this is not just a guarantee that it's safe. You can look at other way through which you can analyze, because we have talked about a number of techniques that you can use, and this is happening. It's a good idea to investigate, file further in the sandbox environment, and also in other source. So I know you've gained much on that information that I've shared with you, and I know you've gained in this class. I'll need you to pay attention on this area of email investigation. And again, as I said, this area will be tested in your CAT. You have to make sure that you understand it, because if you understand it, you'll be able not only to answer well the question in your exam, but also to understand the email, so that you will not be the one of the culprit attacked by using the email, and also you'll understand what it means by email header and how email can be changed to confuse you, so that your information, which is personal or vital, is taken for use in a way that can compromise your personal information or others. So thank you very much for attending this class, and I hope you'll enjoy it. Have a good day, and thank you.